Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today is time for my April TBR and it's also time for my OWL TBR or O.W.L.s. Because obviously we're back at the whole magical readathon thing that the girl from Book Rose, whose name I've currently forgotten, has hosted and created, and it's a really great readathon that has put a lot of thought into it and a lot of work into it. So I definitely suggest you check it out if you haven't heard of it already. This year the difference is that you can sort of look into what sort of career you want to go, like a career path and stuff. And so there's all these different things you can be in the Harry Potter world, and then there are different things you need to pass in order to take those newts when you get to that, so that you can specify what you want to become. And I want to become an alchemist, which means I need to read something for all 12 prompts in order to become that. So yeah, I have at least 12 books on my TBR that are supposed to be for my owls. I'll let you know where they fit. And I have an additional 5 books that are not part of my owls TBR that I also need to get to in April. So I have a total of 16 books on my TBR, which is totally fine considering I've had 22 books on my March TBR. Yeah, I feel a lot better with this one. And so let's get into the books that I'm planning on reading, and I will, as usual, start out with my audio plans and then go into my ebook or physical book plans afterwards. First things first, the first book that I put down that I need to read is for the Ancient Runes Owl, which is where you're supposed to read a retelling. I decided to go with a sort of new release in Denmark that is called Grimm retellings by Bødker and Kenneth Andersen. These are the fairy tales retold by those, and it goes back and explores the really old, like the original versions that were a lot darker than the ones that we know today, and sort of going into the core of those stories and telling them again. And so I'm looking forward to reading that one a lot. And yeah, I was just listening the other weekend, I was watching this morning program, and it ended up with these 2 authors on the screen, and I was immediately intrigued because I really enjoy Kenneth Andersen. And then they started reading from the tales, and I was like, yeah, I need to listen to that. Except I don't remember who is the narrator, but I know that Kenneth Andersen himself is a pretty good narrator. So I don't know if he's the one who narrates some of his stories, or if it's someone else narrating all of the stories. And some of the stories that's featured in it is Red Riding Hood and Hansel and Gretel, and they're definitely a lot darker than the ones that we were told. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that a whole lot. And the next book that I put on is for the Care of Magical Creatures Owl, where I need to read a book with a land animal on the cover. And for that I'm reading What Could Possibly Go Wrong by Jodi Taylor. This is book 6 in the Chronicles of St. Mary series, and it is also part of my Stacking the Series TBR, and that is why I made it fit in with this one. And so it fit really well that there are elephants on this cover. The next book I have on my list is Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is the first book in the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. I haven't read Robin Hobb since November, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into her final series. I'm looking forward to it in the way that I'm really excited to get back with Fitz and the Fool, but I'm also really nervous and anxious about what is going to happen to my characters. They're my babies, and I don't want them to hurt. And I know they've grown really old now, some of them. I think that Fitz is supposed to be in the 50s or 60s in this series, so I'm really looking forward to see how things are progressing in that. This is the first book in the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, so it's also part of my Stacking the Series as well, but it also completes my Owl for Charms because it is an adult work, and this is adult fantasy. So yeah, that is the prompt. You need to read an adult work for Charms. The next book that I'm going to be reading is Stolen Time by Danielle Rollins. This will fit with the Owl divination, because the divination prompt is that it has to be set in the future. This is a time travel novel, so it's set in Seattle in 2077 or something like that, like a lot into the future, but it also partly set in the past. So I hope this works because it is partly set in the future. The next book I put down to read is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is my Lala's favorite of the month, but it also fits with the Owl herbology, where I have to read a book that has a plant on the cover, and I'm pretty sure this has a rose flower type of plant on the cover, so I'm gonna go with it. Yeah, the next book that I put down is for the Owl History of Magic, where you have to read a book that is published at least 10 years ago. I'm good for that one. I'm gonna read Men at Arms by Terry Pratchett. This is the second this is book 15 in the Discworld series, but it's also the second book in the City Watch series, and it was published in 93. So this is almost 25 years ago. No? Yes, 26 years ago. And this one also works for stacking the series, as this is part of that challenge. So yeah. The 7th book that I'm going to be reading is my Owl Muggle study prompt, where you need to read a contemporary, and for that one I'm going to read Don't Let Go by Harlan Coben. This is also my genre TBR book of the month, and this is a mystery thriller thing, but it is contemporary as well. The next book I'm going to be reading is Kings of the Wild by Nicolas Eames. This is not part of my Owls, but it is going to be my book that I've started and not finished book. I don't know if I'm going to be starting in the middle or I'm going to be starting over. I have 2 bookmarks in this one. I haven't decided yet. It's quite a long audio, but I think I'm going to start over and see how it goes. And if I remember everything, then I will jump ahead in time so that I start where I was left off. But I'm a little unsure if I remember everything that happened, so I think I'm going to read all of it again. Then I also have put down that I need to read The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is a BookTube SFF Award book that I didn't get to last month, so I've put it on this TBR. I'm really looking forward to reading it. Then I also have put down Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence, another book that I didn't get to last month, and this is also for the BookTube SFF Awards reading. And finally, I have put down Into the Fire by Jeaniene Frost, and this is the final book in the fourth and final book in the Night Prince series. So this is going to be my series that I'm finishing this month. Hopefully, I am attempting to at least finish one series every month, and I'm very determined to do that because I start so many series and I need to put a focus on this every month as well. And that was the last and final audio of the month, and for me this means I need to listen to 65 hours and 15 minutes in April, and that equals to about 2 hours and 17 minutes per day. So it's not too bad. It should be pretty doable. I've been reading a lot, mostly 2.5 hours the past couple of months, so it could be doable, but then there are some days where I don't read as much, so we'll have to see. Hopefully it will be a good month where I get to all of the books. Now let's get into the physical books of my TBR, or ebooks. The first of the physical books on my list is going to be Fitting the Arithmancy Owl, and the prompt is to read a book by more than one author. And for this one I'm reading The Adventure Zone, Here There Be Gerblins by Clint McElroy, Griffin McElroy, Justin and Travis McElroy, as well as Gary Pietch. I think Gary Pietch is the illustrator, or the one who does the artwork, and the other people are the ones that writes the story and all of that. I'm not exactly sure. The next book that I have on my TBR is going to be for the Astronomy Owl, where you need to read a book with star in the title, and for that one I'm going to be reading The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowall. This is also the BookTube SFF Award book nomination in science fiction, so it fits really well that I have this and I can double cross it. So really looking forward to reading this. It is like about 420 pages long, and hopefully I really enjoy this. The next book that I'm going to be reading is going to be my Kindle book for the month, and that is going to be Real Murders by Charlaine Harris. This book will fit the prompt, read a book for the Defense Against the Dark Arts class where I need to read a book that has an R title, and so Real Murders works for that one. And this is definitely one of my shorter books on the TBR as well, because it's only 175 pages according to my Kindle count. The next thing that I have on my list to read is going to be for the Potions Owl, where I need to read a sequel, and for that one I'm going to be reading Night Broken by Patricia Briggs. This is the 8th book in the Mercy Thompson series, and it's also going to be part of my Stacking the Series TBR. I'm really looking forward to getting back into this. This is like one of my absolute favorite series, definitely one of my favorite urban fantasy series, if not the favorite. After the Dresden Files comes either on at the same spot or just underneath this one, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to it. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading this one so much. I don't know if this one actually fits with the prompt so much. This is going to be my TBR unwrapping for the month, but it is also going to be my Transfiguration Owl, and it's because it's going to be a red cover, but it's not completely red. It has quite a lot of red on the cover and on the back, and it is the Rook, but it's not like completely red. So I don't know, I just remembered it being a lot more red than this one. So I don't know if this would be able to fit or if it's like cheating. I don't have anything with red sprayed edges, so it's going to be a little difficult for me. I'm a little unsure about what to do about that. But I have the Rook on my TBR for the TBR unwrapping prompt, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I've heard really, really excellent things about this book, and it's an urban fantasy, and yeah, set in London. The last and final book that I have on my list for the month is going to be not one that is not a part of the O.W.L.s reading, and that is going to be Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is probably one of the first things that I'm going to be picking up because I already have it checked out at the library, and it's going to be expiring quite soon. I don't know how long I've had it on my overdrive. I need to check that. But this is also BookTube SFF Award nominee in the young adult category, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I've heard very excellent things about this book from people who've already read it, and yeah, I haven't seen a lot of negative reviews, but I haven't seen that many reviews of it yet from like the booktubers that I follow a lot. So we'll have to see. And yeah, these were all of the books that are on my TBR. This is the physical part of my TBR, and then I have a bunch of audio and ebooks on my TBR as well, and I'm really looking forward to reading all of them. I think I found a lot of good books for the prompts. And hopefully I'll have a very successful April and find some new favorites in between all of these books. Yeah, this is all I had for you today. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if you're planning on participating in the O.W.L.s. If you are, what career path are you choosing? I'd also like to know what you're planning on reading if you're not participating in the O.W.L.s, and if you have read any of the books that I'm planning on reading, and what are you most looking forward to read in April? Because yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye!